So, as it is normal for Fridays, it is time for a preview of AEW Rampage. Tonight on TNT. And it is honestly going to be an interesting turn of events for Rampage tonight, as one match that caught my attention was Roosh versus Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels is somebody that sparingly has competed on AEW programming, but it is an interesting turn of events because it's always good to see Chris Daniels, but we so sparingly see him that, you never really know what to expect. The leader of the Mogul affiliates in Swerve Strickland will be back in action tonight against Brian Pillman Jr. And it seems to be that we will likely see a development between the ongoing rivalry between Swerve Strickland and Dustin Rhodes, as Swerve Strickland has been calling out Dustin Rhodes over the last couple of weeks. Tony Storm and Saraya will compete in tag team action tonight as they look to further their narrative as a tag team. And also tonight, the Elite will defend the tag team titles against Isaiah Cassidy, Matt Hardy, and Ethan Page. And this will be the first title defense for the Elite as Trios champions. I'm a little dumbfounded by this, because I thought that the next challengers for the Elite were going to be AR Fox and Top Flight, and not Ethan Page, not the Firm. So I'm a little perplexed by the idea that this is the match set for Dynamite. This is the match set for Rampage. But maybe we could shine a little bit of light on it. Okay, so to get a little bit of clarity on it, the Elite will still be defending the titles against Top Flight and AR Fox, but as long as they can defeat the Firm on Rampage, then and only then will they be able to, they have to defeat the Firm for the titles first, or to retain the titles first, and then they will fight AR Fox and Top Flight on Dynamite next week, if they are still the champions, which, I think anybody knows, yes, they will still be the champions. But it is the first time, to my knowledge, or maybe one of the first times it's the first time in 2023, to be fair, that AEW is having the Trios Championships on the line on Rampage, as this just leaves, to my knowledge, the world title as the only title yet to be defended on AEW Rampage, as All Atlantic Champion Orange Cassidy and TNT Champion Darby Allin have the most defenses on Rampage of their respective championships, with Jamie Hayter also defending her title, and the Acclaimed, I do believe, defending their championships a couple of weeks ago on Rampage as well. But now that the Trios Championships will be on the line, it just leaves MJF's title as the only title yet to be defended. But I highly doubt we will see MJF or any future world champion defend the championships on the world title on Rampage, because of how sparingly AEW defends the title on how sparingly AEW defends the world title on television. Also, it'll be interesting to see the further development of Saraya and Toni Storm's new tag team, because they are still relatively new as a tag team and as heels, which is a refresh for... Honestly, it's a refresh for the women's division, because for the longest time, the only heels, to my knowledge, were Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel. So it is nice to see that the division has a bit more depth. Well, and Jade Cargill, but either way, it is nice to see that the division has a bit more depth within it, to have more top heels, because the more top heels you have, the more room you have to build more baby faces. And in my opinion, I think the company is missing the boat a little bit as far as Ruby Soho, about making her a potential top babyface within the division. But also, I think the company may need to look to who could be the one to defeat Jade Cargill in the not too distant future, because you have to figure out where you're going to go with Cargill, because you can't have her be undefeated forever. To be honest with you. You may want her to be, but you gotta have her lose the title eventually. Lose the title eventually and lose a match eventually, because you can't have her undefeated forever. It's just not possible. And actually, in the show, in what I'm looking at, it actually says that this will be the title's first encounter on Rampage since the title's creation back last year. But again, just to follow it up, you have the big match being the Trios Championship match with the Elite defending the Trios titles for the first time in Rampage history against the Firm, Matt Hardy, Ethan Page, and Isaiah Cassidy. And I'm sure this match will further the story between Matt Hardy and Ethan Page. But for that, you have to sit there and watch tonight. But also, Rush will be against Chris Daniels, and I'm assuming it will give Rush, hopefully, some much-needed momentum to prompt him in the right direction. Swerve Strickland will be in action against Brian Pillman Jr. and Toni Storm and Saraya in tag team action tonight as well. The fact of the matter is, as I always say, if you're looking for wrestling action tonight, look no further than AEW Rampage at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT, right after SmackDown, as you got an action-packed full night of wrestling for your viewing pleasure. With that being said, though, stay tuned tomorrow for MLW Superfight and NXT Vengeance Day previews, and also later today we got some news on a potential sale of WWE. So we got another news video to come today. But with all that out of the way, I will see you in the next video.